Okay, so my idea all along for doing videos was, one, I would do one just playing the song and playing it correctly as much as possible for me. I am a sloppy player. I'm not a naturally gifted player. I always was envious of my friends and that who could play guitar. And so really, even though I'm doing ukulele because that's the most natural instrument for me, I still really want to be a guitar player. That is why I love this ukulele. I just got it probably a year or so ago, just by chance. I saw some discussion about it online. It was expensive, particularly for a ukulele. I went ahead and ordered it on a whim, and my hope was that I would get it and be like, and then return it. And I didn't. As soon as I just did anything, I was like, oh, well, that's disappointing, because I'm definitely going to keep that. And so far, I've restrained myself from buying a second one. This used to be my favorite ukulele, and I did buy two of them, thinking it was going to be the one I would play forever. I do still like it, but it doesn't have the sort of bass, deeper tones that this ukulele gets. So that's why I do it. So the other part of doing the secondary video was to not try to play the song perfect, play it like I would half the time, which is making mistakes, and also point out maybe some of the things that I'm doing as I go along. So again, this is Folsom Prison Blues, my arrangement of it. So that's what we'll go with. So the first thing I'm doing is something I don't know where it came from. I don't know when I made it up. I don't recall, because I'll just play and play songs and gradually adjust them and add things as the years roll on. And at some point, I, for whatever reason, came up with this intro, and this is probably the most technical thing I can do on ukulele or guitar or anything like that. And again, I wish I could recall when it came about, but I can't. So it's really, I'm just going sort of a pull on off. I'm not doing hammer-ons or anything like that, but just a pull. And that's I'm doing it quicker, but I'm sure originally I had to do it pretty slow, but and again, without having a lot of technical skill, I have to find ways to make it more interesting when I'm playing. And so a lot of that I do, or how I do that, is just rhythmically and things like that. So, it's just this lift it up and how I sort of alternate those things to try to, again, give the appearance that I'm playing better than I am. But and so I did that. That's how I started. And same thing when I write songs. I just do odd things. So this all shows up later at the end of the song as an outro. This, for some reason, whatever in the intro, I just do it 3 times. Go through that 3 times and then hit to start the song. And At the end, though, it's 4 times, and there's no rhyme or reason to it. That's just the quirks of how I write and arrange things is not making it, not doing anything super complicated, but trying to make the simple more interesting. So. Well, I hear that train a-coming down around the bend. Ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when. Well, I'm stuck in Folsom Prison. Yeah, time keeps dragging on. See, I already messed it up. And that is what would normally happen. Even though I played this song probably thousands and thousands of times, I still make mistakes like that. Well, I hear that train a-coming, yeah, rolling round the bend, and ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when I'm stuck in Folsom Prison. Time to drag it on. That train keeps rolling on down the San Antonio. I was just a baby, yeah. So that's another of the oddities, just in arranging to keep it adjusted. That's the only time this second verse, like all the other verses, I do the stops. Hear that train a-coming, roll down the bit. And this is the first time and only time in my arrangement where I took the stops out, at least on those initial E's. When we did a similar version in one of the bands that I am in, the guitar player was very annoyed with that, and so got rid of it, and just they would always do the stops every single time. I can understand that. I think it adds some interest to it, but again, they were just annoyed with it. So anyways, that train keeps rolling. And I was just a baby, yeah. Never told me so. Always being good boy. Yeah, play with go. And I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. And he that gets alone, I hang my head and cry. So this is the solo part. Again, this is the closest that I would get to playing a solo, but all of it is just still just going through the same chord progression of the E, the A, A7, and B7. I think play this part wrong. If you were to listen to actual Johnny Cash song, I don't think that he does one of the chords in here in the progression that I do. But as far as the solo, I'm just sliding down past the 12th fret, so it's the same exact thing. It's just higher. I miss the slide fairly often, at least part of the time, but. Is in the real song, but that A7 here that I'm adding in just on the solo parts, because in the verse parts it's just B7 stopping and then going back to the E, but in the solo I still do the. And this is something, again, just to make it more interesting, because I don't have a lot of the technical knowledge and skills, is something as simple as that B7. Just lifting this finger up to throw in that bass sound and make it, again, a little more interesting, hopefully. that's one of the things is trying to make it a little rhythmic. Is the with the free me from this prison. I'm just sort of just hitting these, but I'm not trying to make it actually ring out like a chord. I'm just using it more for percussion purposes. So, look, the free me from this prison, paper chain was mine. Where you bet I will to basically sort of a different take on the original intro with the that's the third one. So in the beginning, at the third one, it would and do the stop and go into the song. On this, the third one is the cue for me. And then at some point I threw in it doing the actual end, which is just then after knowing it was the third one and doing that all faster. So completely out of time at that end, but anyway, so those are the different parts of my version of Folsom Prison Blues, and hopefully that just helps explain a little better what I'm doing and what smoke and mirrors I'm using to make it sound the way it does. Thanks.